I don't know how to check if they can hear me or not. I guess I could go check. Good morning, Unstoppable. Jogi, good morning. Give me 1 sec. I'm trying to see if my volume is working because it wasn't working on the video. Welcome, Ben. Dark Child, welcome. Good morning. I don't know how to do it. Let's see if I can do it. Just give me a sec. I'm checking to see. Whoa, what is that? Can everybody hear me okay? Why is this being complicated?
Right there! It's the police. Open the door.
Good morning. Does that say Brittany and Nito and Tuba? Welcome. Sorry, I'm just trying to check. If you can hear me, let me know, please. Good morning, Cass and Stefan. I am... Sorry, I'm just checking. Viola, good morning. Give me 1 sec. I'm trying to find out. Okay. What the hell? Good morning, Carrie and Chad. If you guys can hear me, can someone type in the chat? Good morning, I can hear you. If you can, I would appreciate it. I don't know why some comments would be filtered. Zishan, good morning. Can you hear me okay? Oh, Vars, good morning. Can you hear me? Wow, we're just going to roll with it. If you can't hear me, I'm talking for no reason. So this week is the fire that becomes creation. So if you see this one, you've already seen the post. Really sucks because it didn't do the volume on my video. So we'll find out, I guess. I'll be either talking to myself or someone's listening. Either way, it's the only time I'm saying it. So... Minister Patian, welcome. All right, so here's what I want to explain. We're going to start off with a little bit of from the captions so we can explain it just a little bit. Good morning, Muggy. So anger isn't always destruction. Sometimes it's a spark that creates. When we learn to stand beside our fire instead of inside it, it becomes energy, not chaos. And when I tell you I'm living this right now, actually living it day in, day out. Once you learn how to focus that, which is what I was talking about, and use it to your benefit, the amount that you're able to create, the amount of intention, the amount of knowledge you're able to absorb when you focus that energy becomes phenomenal. Good morning, Winter. So this is where endurance is born, the strength to keep building, even when the outcome isn't clear. Because your fire isn't here to destroy you, it's here to remind you what you're capable of creating. Quest reward unlocked. I don't know what that means. Good morning, Hunter. Sorry, I don't know what these little pop-ups, they're messing with me, so I don't know what they say. So I want to respond to people, not to AI. Anger can fuel creativity, art, and change. The same flame that once burned you can light your way forward. Miss Grace. Don't even. If I say it 3 times through this, what happens? You know what happens, right? So don't do it. If you learn to stand beside it instead of inside it, when anger arises, It's always a call to fight. Sometimes it's a call to focus. The heat you feel is power. If your body's saying, I care about this and I'm alive. What is your anger trying to create? So these are the questions that we want to understand, because when we can really focus on them, we allow ourselves space to do things. Virgil, oh Lord, I'm going to butcher your name. Bourgeois? Oh, good morning. I'm so sorry. I hope you're doing well. Greg, Cyber, welcome. Give you a heart with your hand like this. There you go. Good morning. Is that what you were asking for? I'll give hearts all day long. Everybody needs some love. All right, so where can you channel that fire into healing, movement, or growth? And have you ever noticed how strong you feel when you let the fire move through you instead of letting it burn you? You're very welcome. Your fire isn't here to destroy you. It's here to remind you what you're capable of creating. Okay, so the reason I talk about this, we went through it all the way up until the medicine within. So we went through the rage, we went through the anger, we went through the fear. The fear is probably the worst part of it, because it's telling you exactly the opposite of what you should be doing. So fear is meant to protect us, but a lot of our fears come from outdated thinking, programs, unaligned beliefs, family structures. There's a lot of things that go along with fear that aren't just so simple as I need to be protected. So, but because they're already inherently in the back of our mind. We don't think about that in the moment. We just understand that it's there to protect us, so we just don't do it because we're scared and we don't want to bother. But when we move forward boldly and we say the opposite of fear, exactly what the opposite of that fear is, that's the courage point, and that's where you make real change. And that's also where you get to drive it. And you can still feel anger, and it's okay, because that is your fuel. And you want that fuel to keep you strong, solid, and it will give you endurance when you're not sure where you're going, when you got to fight the giant, when you got to focus, when you got to learn, when you got to do all of the things. It's going to give you the endurance that most people wouldn't have, because now instead of taking that anger and just reacting immediately with this fire, with this venom, that you're going to feel guilty for later because you just cussed out somebody that didn't deserve it, you just behaved poorly, then you got shame and all these other things you got to go through. If you learn to channel that, you're going to channel that into your research, into your compiling, into your creations, your paintings, your art, your whatever, and it gives you the strength to do that, even when you're not 100% sure where you're going, and that's really important. Good morning, 212, and Noda, welcome. So we've gone through most of them. We have this one here. We have a couple more left, but it's like a full circle moment, and the last one is really going to be just that full circle, because when you realize how far you've grown, how much you've processed, how you've done that. Fish Talk CEO. Oh, Lord. Sorry, give me one sec. I don't want to accept some crazy stuff. I'm here. It's all about fun and games. We all like to have fun, but I'm here trying to teach something, and it's probably not going to align with Fish Talk right now. So the point is, when we can learn it and we can focus it, then we actually have a chance to achieve certain things. And the goal is, as we're achieving, we're growing, we're learning, we're sharing. We're not being angry or violent or reactive. We're channeling that and we're responding. And that in itself is an act of self-love. It's a huge act of self-love. So I want to understand the talk a little moment. Welcome, Weevo and Banga. Welcome. I want to talk about understanding the anger-adrenaline connection, because this is really important. When anger hits, your body isn't betraying you. It's protecting you. The rush you feel, the pounding heartbeat, the shaking hands, that's adrenaline. It's your body flipping the survival switch and says, we need strength now. That's why people lift cars off children or run through fire. In these moments, adrenaline makes us superhuman. So that power, it's provable. It's scientific. There's no, I'm not just pulling it out of thin air. It's factual. It's there. So all of that power. We all receive it when we go into survival mode. That's why we were built with survival mode. That's why our bodies fire in that direction, right? So that anger connection boosts that adrenaline. We have that strength. But what do you do with it? How do you release it without fighting, going into crazy things that are going to harm you? We're learning how to channel that, and we're releasing it slowly as we're focusing. And it's not always the easiest thing to do, and it takes some practice, and it takes you not judging yourself, because the moments of, holy, neighbors are loud up there. Those moments, it's hard because you got to really breathe it out. You got to focus it, and you got to be like, where can I channel this? And I'll just give an example for some of the things that I'm doing right now, and something that I was going through. In the moment, I was severely angry of what happened. I was extremely angry because I knew what was happening wasn't right. So what did I do? Am I going to go crazy? Am I going to freak out? No. I started applying it to researching, making sure that I knew I was right, why I knew I was right, what the reasoning was for it, and what was wrong, and what needed to be fixed. The only way to move forward with something to fix it. And then I channeled that energy into finding the way, reaching out, doing all of the things that I could channel to fix that. Good morning, Abdallah and Thomas. Good morning. So it's really important that we understand, we could have before, the old me, before I had done all of those things, I would have spiraled, I would have worried, I would have freaked out, I would have thought the whole world was going to collapse. But as I learned to process this, it wasn't even a thing. I was like, no, that's not okay. I know it's not okay. But how am I going to prove that it's not okay? Okay, well, now we need to start compiling. We need to start doing all the research. We need to understand the proper rights, all the rights for all involved, not just you, but it's research, compiling all those things. And that's where most people would spiral and be like, no, that's not the thing to do. You take that on and you focus it. So it gives you that endurance to not let it go, to say, nope, this is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to see it through. And those times when you start to question yourself or wonder, you have that fuel already, because you know where your boundary was crossed. You know it was crossed over and over and over, and now you're standing up for it. So channeling that anger into a response and not a reaction makes your life much easier. Holy cow. They're tearing it up there. All right. So the problem isn't the fire. It's when we stay stuck there. So if you're angry and you're ready to explode, good morning, Vian and Shizen. Welcome. When we stay stuck there, you're just boiling and boiling and boiling, and you're not releasing it. You're not figuring it out. You're not understanding it. But there comes to a point where you're going to boil over. You're going to explode, and then that's when you go into the shame, the fear, all those other things, because you didn't act in a controlled manner. And probably by the time you've exploded, you're doing something that is harmful to yourself or someone else. And to what extent, we don't know. But it's something that's going to cause you shame, upset. You're not going to be feeling good about it. And we want to avoid that, right? That's the biggest thing we want to avoid. So we're not built to live in survival mode all the time. Our body can only handle that burst for a short while before it starts burning us out. But when you can recognize that energy for what it is, raw power meant to protect you, you start guiding it towards something that heals instead of harms. And it's really important, because when you can do that... Hi, lady. Can you say hi to Kiana? Hi, Kiana. Good morning. All right, so here's an example. Think of a mother who lifts the car to save her child. That's what's inside you all the time, at any given moment. That's the same energy that can build, paint, write, or lead when directed. Anger often shows up when something sacred is being crossed, a boundary, a value, a truth. And then this isn't about suppressing fire. It's about honoring it enough to guide it through. Okay, so we're just going to see it through, sit with it, understand it, and then we're going to take that and we're going to channel it. We want to channel it into something that we're doing, creating, something we're speaking, something we're trying to teach, trying to share. It's really important. So, of course, anger can fuel creativity, art, movement, and change. But the survival energy can be redirected into creation, writing, cleaning, building, helping, moving, advocating for yourself and for others. Very important because it also helps you speak. Because when you speak with passion, with fire, with compassion for the people you're advocating for, that fire becomes such a fuel that you almost don't even realize it's just pushing you in the back. It's just like carrying you through. You're not even having to do all that crazy work. It doesn't even feel like that. You're just like, oh, okay, get it done, do this, do that, because it's that normal. It's your driving force now, and it means something. And when you put meaning to it, you're processing it, you're understanding it. Why does this mean this? Why does this mean that? You're taking the time to sit and understand that. And when you do that, you're also giving that power, that raw power, a space to release. You're releasing it, but you're releasing it slower in a more conditioned way, and that's where you really start winning. Good morning, Allie and Michael and Eli. Welcome. Okay, so here's some of the things I just want to explain. So when you're mad, when you're angry and you start scrubbing the kitchen, right? It takes you, what, 2 minutes? Like, and you're scrubbing it, deep clean, like where you're normally just clean the house, but now you're like scraping the countertops off because you're angry, right? That energy turns things, and then you stop scrubbing and your hands actually hurt because you've been squeezing so hard. And like that power, you don't even understand your power, how strong it truly is. The idea is if we can start channeling that and focusing it into our greatest passions, the things that we believe in most, that's when we really make great strides. Palm Ben, welcome. And then of course, walking always helps release it. But walking will also help focus it, okay? Because when you're walking, you're asking, you're looking, you're watching the things go around. You're starting to listen inward. You're starting to kind of ask Spirit, what's going on in this world? How can I focus this? Why am I so upset about this? Why isn't this going on, right? Why am I not helping my way through it? Welcome, Redhead. Welcome, Money Man. So you still have that power there. You still have that anger. You still have all that fire. And now instead of just releasing it or reacting on someone, you're spreading it out. You're releasing it slowly, but you're taking that and you're focusing it onto something that you really, really love to do. Welcome, Saunderson and King. So we have 2 tiny practices that you can actually use. Good morning, Luna and Larissa. For 60 seconds, do nothing, sit. Just sit. 1 minute, no fixing. After, write 1 sentence. What I noticed was. So this is something in the immediate is going to be hard and really, really hard to do. The sitting still for 60 seconds when you're angry is hard to do. I get it. But when you can control yourself that simply for that 60 seconds, you've put control over it. And now you can decide how you want to release it. But you can explain exactly what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and how to move forward. Welcome, S, and welcome, Helen. So when you do that, and then 90 seconds, kindness to self. Something simple, put your hand on your heart. I'm allowed to pause. Healing doesn't hurry. You don't force yourself, you just listen. And then you say, what if every burst of anger was actually a burst of potential? What if I focused that into something that I really, really wanted to do? How could I make this drive me to do better for myself? Good morning, Destiny. How are you? And Tinctress, welcome. What could you build if you let that energy move through you instead of letting it burn you? If you focus that energy into creating something, into advocating for yourself, into learning something that's going to benefit you in all the best ways, how can you be mad for using that energy? Like if you explode and you just start cussing somebody out or something, you know, you're going to, in the moment, you'd be like, yeah, I cussed them out, I feel better, da-da-da. And then 30 seconds later, when you calm down, you're going to be like, man, I was such an asshole. Good morning, Top. So the idea of feeling guilty and shameful and all those things for it because you reacted instead of responded is what the idea is. In those moments of anger, instead of hurting yourself, what could I focus this into? You know, and sometimes until you know the creation or the things that you want to do, sometimes it's best to channel it into cleaning or walking or something that's going to focus for you. Because as you're doing that, it lets your mind clear. You go in autopilot, and you're releasing the energy, but you're letting your mind drift. You can't stay angry when you're doing all these things, especially when you're doing things that are peaceable, things that bring you calm. Eventually it will calm down, right? But now you know, and now your mind starts drifting, and then you start thinking about the reasons this was important, the reasons this, the reasons for that. How can I share this? How can I understand this? How can I use this to my advantage, to benefit me around? So now the next time you get angry, oh no, I'm going to dig into that. I'm going to read that. I'm going to focus. I'm going to start writing about that. I'm going to start compiling. I'm going to research. You know, you're focusing into all things. Knowledge is power, no matter who you are, where you are, or what your level is in this world. So it's always going to be the best. Watson, welcome, and Aziza, welcome. So as long as you can understand that and learn to channel that and focus that, you've already learned. You peel back the layers for rage. Okay, you understood that immediate rage, you had every right to feel that way. They cross your boundaries. People, like, it doesn't matter what the situation is. The people, place, situation, cross your boundaries. You didn't just go to rage. It wasn't the first one. So that means it was crossed multiple times. You've already been very upset. So now, that's where the backbone comes up. Nope, I've been crossed enough. I've had enough. Stand up, right? And everybody has the right to do that. Then it goes to anger, okay? Because now you're just furious, but when you go to anger, you're saying, why? Why was it crossed? Why does this upset me so much? How do I understand that? So now you're just peeling back these layers. And each time you do that, you're sitting with it. And when you sit with it, you begin to understand it. So now all these things, when this big, big thing happens, you don't go directly to rage. You go, rage? Oh, no, it's not that serious. Oh, to anger? Oh, well, what did it make me feel? Because anger is just a thing, has to do with fear, right? Anger is the reaction to what you're feeling of fear, right? So when you can understand that, now you go immediately from rage, anger, fear, you know, and you're not scared anymore either. So now you're sitting with the medicine within. You're understanding all of these questions, why you hit all these things, why you needed to know these. And now that's where you're understanding this rage, this anger, this fear, all of that pent-up energy. You're now sitting there with the medicine within, which is the one with the last one that I did. You're understanding, you're processing, you're sitting with all of that stuff, and it's just boiling up, boiling up, boiling up. But instead of releasing it like an explosion, you're now using it like a tank of gas, and it's going to push you through in anything that you do. Even when you're unsure, it's going to drive you. And when you get quiet and you learn to listen to your intuition is automatically going to send you exactly the way you need to be going. And there's lots of things that I could tell you that is proven that makes this 100% accurate, but the situation I'm going through right now is something that will come in time. When that's done, then yes, we'll be able to talk about it. But until then, just know I actively know through personal experience multiple times, not just once. This is something that I've learned to do over and over and over. And will it work for you? It should, but we're all different. And it's not about you doing everything exactly the way I tell you. It's about you understanding the process, so you have the tool belt, so you can decide what extent you need, what tool you can pull out and say, I have this tool, and it actually does work, and maybe it doesn't work all this way, but if I add this tool with this tool, and then do a little bit of this, that works really well for me. And that's the goal, is that if you got 5, 6, 7 tools in your pocket that you didn't have before, now instead of exploding and doing crazy stuff, you've learned to channel that, and you've learned to focus it, and now you're creating, and now you're doing something that empowers you in one way, shape, or form, whether it's knowledge, art, creating, cooking, doesn't matter. You're challenging it into something that will always benefit you and probably multiple people around you. So when you're channeling it into something good, you're transmuting. That's alchemy at its highest form. Like, if I can teach that to people, and you can do that just any given day when you're upset and start practicing that, and then when you understand 2 months later, because you've been practicing it, and you look on the other side of this conflict that would have absolutely sent you stupid, and you're like, man, I overcame that, I did that, I learned this, I did that. That would have never happened if that was me 6 months ago. You can celebrate yourself in ways you can't even begin to imagine. Good morning, Karen, Ganzi, Lowell Remote, and AV. Welcome, Lloyd. If I butcher your names respectfully, I apologize. And then, so when we react from anger, it's usually because the fire hasn't had anywhere safe to go, right? So it's just festering and festering and festering, and eventually it's going to boil over. That's when the explosions happen. Alisanto, welcome. So it explodes. Words fly, energy spills, and even when we're right about what hurt us, the way it comes out still leaves a trail of smoke behind. Reaction burns. It scorches you. You can feel it later. The guilt, the shame, the tight chest that whispers, I didn't really mean it like that. Responding is different, right? When we respond, it's that one breath before you speak. The tiny pause that lets the flame settle so you can actually see what it's trying to show you. Oh Lord. GJ, welcome. And T-West, welcome. It's saying, okay, I feel this heat. What do I want to do with it? Because when that's how you shift from destruction to direction, right? The distractions are real today. Because when you breathe, you give yourself a choice. Not to deny the anger, but to decide where to aim it. Maybe it looks like grabbing a notebook and writing what you wish you'd said. Maybe it's turning on the music and dancing until your heartbeat catches up. Maybe it's cleaning, painting, running, singing, praying. Anything that lets the fire move through you instead of out at someone. Researching, compiling. When I tell you before, the thought of me actually researching and sitting down and doing something when I was angry was just like laughable. It was laughable. There's no way in hell I was ever going to do that. And when I tell you, when I began, I couldn't understand these things. And the more I started to learn, the more I was like, that makes so much sense. But why does that make sense? So I need to understand both sides of the coin, because if I don't understand both sides of the coin, then I'm not learning from an actual learning perspective. Okay, if I only see my side and I never see anybody else's side, how am I actually learning, right? So then it became this digging in, but it wasn't just digging in so it was my side, my side, my side, everybody loses. It's also trying to understand their side and then finding that bridge, right? Meeting the middle. And that's how my brain works. Nobody else's has to work like that, but whatever it was that you focus in on, you're going to excel at, okay? You're going to do it so extremely well that you can't even begin to imagine, because you have a passion for it, because you understand how important it is to your peace of mind, okay? And if it's important to your peace of mind, that means it's important to much more people, their peace of mind as well. So when you learn to do something that really does work for that, there's somebody else that is going to benefit in this world. You may not know that right away, and it may take a while before you understand it. But once you do, it's the most empowering and the most giving thing you can do is to help somebody else learn how to not explode and show up for themselves and feel more empowered. And even in the lowest of low situations, understand that, you know, I can turn this around. There's a way to turn this around, and there's a way to figure our way out of it. And we're gonna do the work that it takes. And when you channel that anger to do that, instead of going, woe is me, I'm gonna die, all these things are going on, you're telling the universe that I'm not going into victim mode ever again. I do not allow for victim mode. I'm gonna process, I'm gonna understand, I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna research, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to find the way that I can move above this, rise above it, learn, teach, show, share, whatever it is. And when you get to that point, the universe is going to say, oh, okay, here you go, here you go, here you go. Oh, you got energy? Here, let me help you channel it. And I promise you, it will just keep opening the path, and you're going to be like, holy crap, how did that happen? Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Bruce. Okay, so that's how you shift from destruction to direction. Because when you breathe, you give yourself a choice. Not to deny the anger, but to decide where to aim it. Okay, and maybe that looks like grabbing a notebook and writing what you wish you'd said. And I'm also going to tell you something. So for someone like me, whose brain probably goes faster than my mouth on a regular basis, nonstop, and then trying to spit it out sometimes is like, and we get all crazy. And it goes the same way with trying to write. So I love writing. It's very cathartic. But when you're angry or you're upset, trying to write anything, like physically write anything, can be very devastating. And then trying to correct yourself or catch up or get it out because you're angry sometimes just makes it, it sets you up for failure. That's my own personal belief. Some people can write really fast and it just flows perfectly and you can get into that rhythm. But I find for me, when I'm angry, upset, or really trying to process something, writing is not the answer. I need to speak it. I need to talk it through. And then eventually I can sort it into however I need to sort it and then process it. But so it's not always just about writing. If in the moment you're upset and you can't get it, but those emotions are going to be helpful, understanding what's happening right now later will be helpful. Get your voice note. Get your phone. Open up your documents or whatever you call it and just hit the voice record and just spill it. Just spew it out. However, we don't care. Okay, we're not correcting spelling. We're not doing any of that. We're getting the initial emotion out. It's out. And voice to text is evil. So 9 times out of 10 when you go to write it down later, it's not going to be close to what you said, but it's going to give you the idea of what you meant. So you're going to, be able to laugh about it a little bit because that is not what I said. You're not correcting yourself. You're just spewing it out when you go back. So it's going to lighten the mood a little, but it's going to allow you to process it. And when you write it, each sentence, okay, write what you actually meant to say, not what voice to text said. But when you write it, it allows you to think about that sentence, and it allows you to think about what that is being said. And in that moment, you're processing that anger. You're processing that feeling that you absolutely have every right to validate and process. And when you do that, you give yourself the space to come from an empowered place. Okay, it doesn't matter if nobody in the world is going to validate me. I know what I deserve to feel. And if everybody else on this planet deserves to feel anger, upset, fear, all of those things, why do I not, right? So we don't need somebody else to validate us. We want to validate ourselves. Good morning, Val. How are you? So it's really important that when we're doing this, we're checking in with ourselves and don't get so caught up. I can't write because I'm so angry. Voice to text. Just do it. Save yourself the trouble and then write it later once you've calmed down. Welcome, Icy. Good morning. So maybe it's turning on music, dancing to your heartbeat catches up. Maybe it's cleaning, painting, running, singing, praying. Anything that lets this fire move. And then you want to ask yourself in that moment, while you're doing all these things, what is this anger trying to protect? Because anger is just the reaction for fear, right? So what is it that I'm so scared of? And is this fear valid? Is it going to kill me? Is what happening, is what pissed me off right now so bad that I'm going to die? The opposite of whatever this is it going to kill me? Is this going to make me so fearful that I'm going to die? No, then it's probably not a valid thing. And from there, you can process it and say, well, that's maybe when I was like 6, that I would have thought that would have killed me. But now, I'm 40, what am I, 44, right? So, no, I'm adult. I can handle my own. I'm good. Thank you for that fear trying to protect me, but it's not valid anymore. So now you allow yourself to process it. And you tell your body, you tell your soul, you tell your mind, thank you, but I don't need that fear anymore. And that's when you start to be more empowered and you be able to focus that energy. Good morning, Casey. And then we're going to ask, what is it asking me to do that actually helps? How can I focus this that is going to help me understand why that anger and why that fear is not applicable anymore? How can I do that? Is it going to be through researching, through channeling that energy, singing, releasing it, cleaning? It could be anything, but it's always going to give you a nudge of what to do next. And if you understand yourself and you start trusting yourself, which by the time you get to this point in the Fire and Flow series, if you've already done the process of peeling back the layers, you're going to start trusting yourself. There's just no way around it, okay? Good morning, Jen and SZA. So the reason I'm saying that is if we take these steps and we're using these steps, and there's no rush. If you have to sit in rage for 3 days, just to process it, then you do that, okay? And you don't be mad at yourself because it took you 3 days. Because if you had to sit in rage for 3 days, you were probably, that boundary was crossed so much and so long that part of that rage is actually being pointed at yourself too, and you need to process that, because you should never be mad at yourself. You just need to understand how and why you let it happen. You don't time yourself. You don't judge yourself. You just show up with love, and you understand, I need to understand all of these feelings. So to do that, peel back the layers. By the time you get to the fire sparks creation part of it, you're already trusting yourself, and you're going to start following your intuition, and you're trusting yourself because you've sat through yourself, through all of the stages. You sat through yourself. You loved yourself through it. You know, that's when you're going to trust yourself, because you showed up for yourself in a way that nobody else ever could or would, right? Welcome back, Destiny. So, what can I build with this energy instead of breaking something with it? What do you want to create? What is something that you would love to help other people? Because a lot of people, how this starts is you want to help other people, right? Of course you want to help yourself, but sharing and helping other people really brightens your day, right? So how can I do this to help? What can I create? Do I love art? Do I love this? Do I not even know anymore because I've been so busy doing all this, trying to keep up here, do this, everyone telling me to do this. You know, I don't even know what I love anymore. I don't even know what brings me joy anymore. And many people go through this. So it's not just a one thing. Many people go through this. And you know how you find out? You have to go play. Go play. Go bowling. Go start crocheting. Start doing trying something new. If you don't like it, okay. Take some time. Unlock some time for yourself and say, no more. I've been giving. I'm not giving to me. And it doesn't matter how you show up. I don't care if it's a spa day. I don't care if it's reading, if it's doing word searches, if it's doing whatever it is. Start doing something just for you. That's how you learn what your passion is. That's how you learn what you're best at. Whether it's researching, whether it's writing, whether it's speaking, whether it's singing. Doesn't matter what it is. Creating art, making things. Whatever it is, you're going to find out what it is. But you have to take that time for yourself, which is immediately going to help calm all of those things, because you haven't been taking that time for yourself. And that's just your body, that anger and all those other things that are happening so much easier. It's just your body's reaction saying, like, hey, I'm here. Pay attention to me. Nobody else is paying attention to me. Well, it's not their responsibility. It's your responsibility. Show up. Check in with you. I love me. I love me every day. So how am I going to show that to myself? And in turn, that's just going to flow outward. Okay? Welcome, Psychosis. So, and then that's the difference. Reaction leaves ashes. Response leaves art, growth, and peace in its wake. Peace in your own mind, in your own heart. Peace with those around you. They know that when they come and they step into your energy, they're going to know immediately. They're going to know you're a safe space. They're going to know that you're calm, that you're not going to freak out, that if they say something to you, you're not going to explode and start screaming at them. Okay, and don't think that I never did that. I did that all the time because I was a walking, ticking time bomb. I had to process this. I'm not saying things, these things that I'm sharing aren't just like, oh, let's just take a guess. This is shit that I had to sit with myself, and I had to check myself, and I had to, even through the anger at myself, I shamed myself. I did all of the things, beat myself up, like not physically, but mentally, like, because I didn't know how to process it, and I had to sit with it, and nobody showed me. I had to learn it for myself. I had to learn it the hard way. I had to learn it the long way, and I had to learn it while people were laughing at me, screwing up my life, and actively not giving a crap. So when I tell you it can be done, 1,000% can be done. It's not about spending thousands on a certain healing program. It's not about all those. And I'm not saying any of them are not valid. What I'm saying is, if out of these sections in these series, if I can give you a couple tools, just a couple, that you have in your tool belt. So instead of rage and something stupid, driving someone off the road because you're just fed the fuck up and everybody's got you to the point where you're snapping every other day and you can't figure out why, that's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy. So if I can teach you how to channel that into something that's empowering, something that's going to train you, help teach you, help make you smarter, help make you stronger, more efficient, and more caring towards yourself, how can that ever be a bad thing? It can't. And I'm actual living proof that if you actively put it to work, it changes you. It changes you in so many different ways that you can't even begin to imagine. So, like these recaps, you can always go on my YouTube. You'll always find them. I always repost the live because there's a lot of things to share. And I always get guidance messages from Spirit before we're done. I'm almost done here, and then I'll do that. But this is the most important one. To me, it is. Maybe not to everybody, because some people, things resonate a little more, right? Some sections of it. Welcome, Mark and Eric. But to me, the biggest thing that ever happened to me was when I learned how to channel that anger. Because when I tell you the life I've been through, I've overcome the traumas, the betrayals, the things that I've been through, I don't wallow in it. I only talk about it when it's factual and when it is possible to help somebody else overcome something. Otherwise, I leave it. Because I've processed it and I've loved myself through it and I understood it. And I also finally understood and acknowledged that I had every right to feel that rage. I had every right to feel that fear, that anger, that upset. And until I validated that, what are my pronouns? She, her, me? That's a weird question. I'm just me. Anyways, the only thing you have to worry about is channeling that anger. The distractions don't matter. Those other things don't matter. Any of those things, no matter how you're feeling in the moment, when you learn how to channel it into something creative, something spectacular, that's when things become fantastic. That's when you really become empowered. That's the weirdest question I ever had. Anyway. Why is this asking me to do? What is asking me to do that actually helps? What is this asking me to do? Sometimes I can't read my own writing, sorry. That's the difference, right? Reaction leaves ashes, response leaves art, growth, and peace in its wake. Sherry Stone, welcome. Okay, so of course, journaling is always one thing. This is something that you can use to help you channel it. Again, if you cannot channel right away, don't focus on that. Do not focus on that at all. Focus on getting it out vocally. So voice record, however you got to do it. And then when you're calm, write it down. Until then, don't worry about that. Just get it out and then focus on writing when you can. Terry, welcome. And then these are some of the prompts that have helped me. What situations ignite my fire most often? So what are these situations? My surroundings, the people I'm around, the situations that really just spark that that upset, that immediately set it up to over here. That means you don't feel safe. This situation is not good for you, and that's just your body telling you that. But when you can recognize what those situations are, it's very easy to avoid them because you just don't, you release them, you let them go, and most times the situations don't need to be bothering you. If it's work and you have to do that, then you're going to avoid the people, the places, the certain processes that are creating those fires, right? Oach, Desmond, welcome, and Rochelle, welcome. And then what is that anger trying to protect or create? How can I use that energy to fuel something that matters? You've done all that work, you've processed all that stuff, and now you have this just exuding amount of energy. And if you can just take that and use that towards yourself, okay, and just say, what can I do that's going to benefit me, then you're going to use that, channel it, focus it into something empowering. So now, sorry, I have a big desk and I have a lot of things going on and trying to get enough organized that I can move and get it together. So we're going to pull some card pulls, and a lot of these are oracles. They're self-care, self-love, and the whole point of that is so through this process, it's really hard to do if you're not showing up with love for yourself. When you don't give yourself that space, when you don't show up from a place of love and self-care to yourself, then you start falling behind, slipping through the cracks, not standing up for yourself when you're supposed to, allowing people to walk all over because it's non-confrontational. And a lot of people don't want to have that conflict. We're not saying attack people, but speaking up for yourself and those boundaries and saying, no, I'm not okay with this, now gives the other person the opportunity to make the decision. Okay, am I going to respect what they're saying and try to do something differently, or am I going to completely disrespect it and continue behaving? And their response allows you a lot of information, because if they will do that, then you know exactly what kind of person they are and where do they fit in your life. 0. They got to go. If anyone that will actively, continuously, after you've given them a boundary and said, no, that's not okay, and they continuously attack your peace, they got to go. Is it forever? Who knows? Who knows? Because they may step up once they realize everyone's on their own healing journey. When you leave, when you walk away, you do it with love. You don't do it with some hatred, resentment. You just say, nope, no time, no, I'm not going to be angry, and I'm not going to be set off every day of my life because this is a continuing thing and you refuse to change or meet me in the middle. Or even attempt to change. It's not even about being perfect. It's about making those attempts, right? Sorry, I was talking a lot. I needed a drink. Can I have a gratitude card? Oh, right there, eh? That one was a quick one. If you feel burnout setting in, if you feel demoralized, exhausted, it is best for the sake of everything to withdraw and restore yourself. And that's the Dalai Lama. Welcome, Rat King. Walk to your favorite coffee shop. That's funny. I was just taking a sip of my coffee. Walk to your favorite coffee shop for an afternoon pick-me-up, or brew a cup of tea as you take a few minutes to reflect and recharge. And actually, I'm part of my company. Where's my thing? Sorry, again, way too piled up desk. So if you see anything with this logo, this is my company, my website I created. It's where I make all my teas, all my healing tinctures, my art, my guided journals to help break through all of these places, these sparks, these angers, to understand and process. They're downloadable, so you don't have to have them shipped. You can just download them and use them. And then also I have my short story, just talking about some of the stuff I've been through, overcome in life, and how I overcame them. So, and it's more like a reflection story, and it's more about how to process some of these things, specifically for that reason. So apparently I was called to talk about that because it's not just about a story of your life, it's about how you process it and understand it, and how we move forward in these places. We're allowed to feel righteous anger. We're allowed to process those things. But if we don't process them, we're going to be that walking, ticking time bomb. And we don't want that, right? We don't want that at all. Nobody wants that. Because the guilt and shame and all those things you feel after you've exploded. And it may take a couple days, because in the moment you're like, yeah, that felt good, right? But once it finally hits, then you're just going to be shaming yourself. And then you're back into that vicious cycle. And if we can get past that vicious cycle, man, the way things change for you, it's going to be nuts. Hi, was that Rayan? How are you? Why are you spamming my chat? You can if you want. You can just say hi and have a conversation. Can I have a self-care card for the topic, how we can help change that fire into creation and show up for ourselves in a space of love? That's the one. Oh, we got 2? Yeah, we did. 3. Okay, well. Alright, fair. We got 3, so I'm reading all 3, because apparently they all align. These names pop in quick. Welcome, Corey. If I miss your name, sorry. I'm reading and stuff, and then by the time I look up, they disappear, so. When eating fruit, remember the one who planted the tree. I love this one. Welcome, Craig and user. Take time today to show gratitude for those who have contributed to your survival and well-being. No one thrives on their own. We are all connected. And when we understand that, it's a lot easier to see compassion for other people while still holding your boundaries. But it allows that space of understanding, right? Welcome, Emma. If you can't fly, then run. Okay, this one. This one will save your life. It will save your life. If you understand it and you think about it, and even taking it at face value, sit with it. Understand this, because it's about keep moving forward. And I'm telling you, this one is the one. This is the only reason I am here now today, period. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't walk, run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. And that's Martin Luther King Jr. Admire your own persistence. No matter what, it doesn't matter if you think you fail or something didn't go right. You have not failed. You're learning. As long as you're trying something differently next time, you're learning. Okay, you're taking and you're learning the lesson. And even if you get it wrong next time, you're not going to be punished as harshly because you made a different choice than before. You're actively breaking the cycle. And when you're actively breaking the cycle, you're actively teaching your body, I am able, and nothing has killed me yet. So obviously this isn't going to kill me. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to try again, and I'm going to get up. And it doesn't matter if I got a belly crawl, I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep trying, and nothing's going to stop me. Like, that is the epitome of what this means and what this fire becoming creation is. When you can channel that, it doesn't matter. If you can't move and you can literally only belly crawl, that fire is going to keep you going. It's going to keep you belly crawling until you can get up on your knees. Okay, it's going to keep you going until you can crawl. Not just belly crawl. But by that fire, man, when it comes, you're going to be able to run by the end of it. And that's what I'm really trying to teach. Welcome, Andrew. All right, and then the next one. I made it up here on this bridge between Starshine and Clay. My one hand holding tight my other hand. Come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. And has failed. If you're still alive, if you're still breathing, you still have a chance. Every second of every day that you're breathing, that you can do something different, you have a chance to change your thought process. Release something that is not serving you. Let it go. The quote was Lucille Clifton. Recall your nearest to death experience, and I can tell you I've had many. What a miracle that we continue through these times. It doesn't matter how bad it gets. If you're still breathing, you survived, you empowered, you won. You're winning every single day. Doesn't matter if you're belly crawling. It doesn't matter how the hell you keep moving forward. You keep going because it's going to get better. No one thrives alone. And if you keep going, those people start showing up for you. The right people. The people that can help you. Whether it's a message, whether it's somebody showing up with that compliment that you needed in that moment where you just enough to make you smile when everything's weighing down, but somebody came out of nowhere and made you smile. When I tell you the signs that are everywhere all the time, but you don't notice them because we're too busy being asleep, not paying attention, and that's fine. It's not, the goal is to not do that, to be more self-empowered, to be more self-aware, because when we do that, we really create change actively for ourselves and for other people. Communication is key on the bottom of the deck. I love that. I'm doing them in a little bit different order, which is fine. Because I like the last one, and I really want to keep that one near the end, because I like Izzy Ozzy. Conclusions are within reach. What do you need to release? These are the things that we need to focus on, right? And then it's a time for healing. So when you sat with that medicine within, and you really understood, like, that's where you gave yourself the space to sit with it, to understand what it is you needed to let go. Was this worth carrying? Was this resentment? Was this anger? Was it worth carrying? No? Okay, so I'm going to release it. Now, instead of releasing it and just spewing it out, we're focusing it. What can we channel it into? How can I channel this? I'm still releasing it, but how can I use this to channel into something great? Into my art, into my talking. A new earth is happening. Keep holding the vision. We got one more over here, and then portal. So I'll read both of them. Only because the way they popped out. A new earth. Angel number 30 might have an extra message. So if you ever want an extra message, go look up angel number 30. It's about alignment and all that. So go check it out. You'll find that there's an extra message for you. Don't give up now. You're closer than you think. I know it's hard to hold the frequency of a new age when it feels as if so much is crumbling and so many are losing faith. This is your sign that you're facing the right direction. You have a great gift in being able to see the potential of things before they exist. Tend to the new seeds. Dream them into existence. Don't lose faith now and keep your focus fixed. Planting new seeds and bringing about a shift of the ages is no mean feat. It requires extreme trust and a radical vision. If you pull this card, it's a reminder to have faith. You chose to be here to be a part of this global shift. Whether you're bringing it about through prayer and meditation or through working on a new project, job, or creation, keep going. It's happening. Don't give up now. The world needs more dreamers like you, more people with hope in their hearts. The road ahead may not be plain sailing, ushering in a new age. I can't read today, sorry guys. Ushering in a new age in the times of change never is. You're being encouraged to remember that what you've been working toward for so long is almost here. Don't question yourself now. Don't waver. Dig your devotion deep, for if you do, in the not-too-distant future, you'll be able to sit back and watch all that you've so carefully planted and nurtured grow and bloom. It's possible. Keep focusing on your dreams. You're closer than you think. How can you keep holding the vision? What ways can you learn, grow, share? Just nurture those seeds. In what ways can you do that? Show up for yourself. Love yourself, right? Portal. Maybe it's on the other page? Okay, it's making me look for it. So this one, angel number 96, might also have one. Especially when I have to look really hard for it. Usually there's an extra message there. So, angel number 96. And hopefully my reading gets just a little bit better today. We'll see. I don't know. To be fair, it's Sunday, so if my reading is crap, it's because I have been reading a lot this week. Doors are opening. This is the portal. You decide. Rewards, wild card. Doors are opening for you. Your thoughts are extra powerful for you right now. Planets are aligning. The timing is right. The universe is saying yes. You have the Midas touch. Your hard work is being rewarded. This is a time when you can reap the rewards for efforts made in the past. It's also a time when you can achieve a lot. Great leaps can be made. Extreme transformation can occur. Great distances can be traveled in a short space of time. You're swimming with the cosmic current of life. What experience would you like to have? What do you want to create? What new adventure would you like to manifest? Don't lose focus. Use this moment in time wisely. Be conscious and clear with your emotions and thinking. Projects that you've been working on are coming to fruition. Things are in full bloom. It's time to take your harvest and taste your well-earned fruits. When this card comes up in a spread, it's a sure sign that effortless change is possible. If you've been looking for a sign, this is your portal into that new reality. Now is the time to make big changes. If you've been guided to switch things up, you're extremely well supported right now. Use this energy and jump right on in. What would you most like to experience? And that's what it's all about. Right now, we've been talking about channeling that anger and using that to spark your creation. Change your perspective, bottom of the deck. And that matters because when you're doing something out of anger, spite, or get back, or one of those things, why aren't they suffering? They need to suffer. You can't think like that. When you think like that, you only hinder yourself because you don't know what somebody's going through. Whether you can know somebody crossed your boundaries, you can know somebody hurt you, you can know all of those things. But that doesn't mean that you know what they're going through. So when you wish something on somebody, you need to understand you're only hurting yourself. Okay, you're only ever going to hurt yourself because, welcome Jim, The universe is meant to guide us with love, okay, in any way, shape, or form. And yes, it starts with nudges, and it will be just nudges. And the more you ignore it, and the more you ignore it, those nudges get louder until it's a scream. So when you're trying to be guided gently back, they're very much going to try to do that. But the more you ignore it, those gentle nudges turn into pushes. And eventually it's going to be a truck getting run over. Good morning, and thank you. You're very kind. But what I'm trying to say is when you start showing up and you start answering the call instead of and channeling that into something that is answering the call, that's when you get a space where the universe says, good job, and you start getting all these wonderful things. Welcome, Sue. Good morning. What do we got? Pillar of Light. Yeah, I like this one. Where are you? Oh, you're really making me look for it. Okay, angel number 102. Also look up that because when it makes me look that hard, there's definitely a message there. Okay. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. Oh, that's weird. No. Maybe my chair? I don't know. But thank you. You are heaven and earth in perfect expression, a conduit for the light of the heavens to the earth. You are the rainbow bridge. Take time to meditate. Imagine yourself as a pillar of light, connecting the light of the heavens above with the earth. As the light shines through each of your chakras, you activate your rainbow bridge and many ancient scriptures speak about, raising your vibration and the vibration of a planet, linking the Hirams. Listen, I'm an adult. If I farted, I would tell you. I'm not a 12-year-old or a 2-year-old. Is that what we want to talk about here? Or would you like to actually learn something? Because that's up to you. But trust you me, I have no shame in my game. If I farted, I would be the first one to say it. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for the distraction. But the distraction you create here for me only doubles for you, right? Because it's just going to reflect back to you. So when things happen, you start dropping things or things start getting frustrating, it's going to be because you're trying to hinder somebody else when they're doing something. Because that energy always has to come back. So what you put out should always be good, and what comes back will always be good. So think about that. This is what I am teaching. This is what I'm trying to teach you. This is the whole point of the class. Thank you. And if you missed it, then you should go back and watch it. RB don't have one. Welcome. Dude, do you think it hurts my feelings or even bothers me? It's laughable. Children do that. Children. Welcome, William. All right, so the higher realms of the cosmos, guides, angels, and spirit with the ancient wisdom keepers and beings of planet Earth. They dance together through you. They sing together through you. Without your body, voice, and creations, neither can be expressed. Truth. Thank you. How are you? God is outside of us, giving away our power to angels and spirit guides. But without you, they do not have a voice. You are the oracle. Do not look for guidance outside, for you hold all the wisdom of the entire universe in the portal of your heart. When you get to know you, when you get to know yourself, you start listening to what your highest best self needs, wants, and is trying to guide you to go. That's what we want to understand. We can talk to God, we can talk to angels, we can talk to our spirit team, we can talk to our ancestors, we can talk to everybody. But they can't talk through us if we don't show up for ourselves first. We have to love us. I don't know why we keep asking the pronoun thing. I don't go by pronoun. I believe what I believe. I am me. I am a girl. I was born a girl. That's what I am. To each their own, no judgment. But my explanation is on my biography. And if you want to understand that, you can go look for yourself. If it's not there, then it's probably not your business. That's all. Thank you. All right. Now, You are the oracle. Do not look for guidance outside. You hold all the wisdom of the entire universe in the portal of your heart, in every cell of your body. Do not see the angels and guides as above you, for without you, they have no way of communicating. You are the oracle. You are the rainbow bridge, and you are the pillar of light. So now, this affirmation that you can say that's going to help you focus on it. I allow the light of the heavens and the light of the earth to flow through me now. I activate the codes of remembering within my cells and chakras. I activate my system as a rainbow bridge between heaven and earth. Okay, and the whole point of all this is when you channel that anger and you put it to something, focusing on yourself, start with yourself. Because you know what? If you don't know yourself, you can't teach anyone else how to treat you, how to love you, how to care about you, how to show up for you, how to help empower you, how to cheer for you, how to pick you up when you fall, because they don't know where you're at. They don't know how. And if you don't know yourself and you don't show up for yourself and you don't love yourself in those moments of rage, anger, fear, all of those things, you don't know how to tell anybody else. And maybe just channeling that is just teaching somebody, hey, I need you to show up for me. Hey, I need you to help me understand this. I need you to help me process this because it's really important. And if I can get past this step, then I can focus and I can do all of these things. But I'm stuck here and I don't know how to move past it. But you wouldn't be able to speak that out if you didn't learn how to channel that, if you didn't learn how to say to yourself, how to check with yourself, how to show up for yourself and love yourself with no shame whatsoever. This is what I want to teach. If I can just teach you a couple tools that you have in your belt, so when those moments come, instead of freaking out, reacting, and being a fool, and then you're going to feel bad for it later. Maybe in the moment it feels great, right? But you know immediately, as soon as your mouth open and you say that vile, or you spew that venom at somebody, that you're going to feel guilty for it later. Because that's not who you are at your soul. And most people are kind, and most people are caring, and most people are going to regret those things. So when you show up for yourself and you forgive yourself, because you can't hold on to that forever. Yeah, I did a stupid thing. Yeah, that wasn't smart. It wasn't my best thing I ever did. So be accountable. Yeah, I screwed up. Then what do? How can I do better next time? What I'm trying to show you is things that you can keep in your tool belt so you can understand how to do better next time. And then once you get to the point where you're getting good at doing better next time, and each time it's getting better and easier, now you have all that anger and all that extra energy and this explosion just ready to go. But instead of actually exploding, you're channeling it. And that it's like trying to get up that mountain. If you were just normal, you're going to get about a quarter away, halfway, and you're going to be exhausted. But when you got that anger and that channeled fuel, you're going to be all the way at the top of the mountain, halfway down it, and you're going to be like, holy hell, how did that happen? You're going to be on the other side going, I thought this was going to be hard. What? How did that happen? I did this and this and this and this, and before I wouldn't even have got to this point, and I would have been broke down, probably almost to jail, sent someone to the hospital. Like, you can recognize 1,000% how you're already on the other side of the mountain, don't know how it happened, because you learned how to channel this energy. And if I can teach you that of all of the things and make you understand that when you're channeling that energy, if you're focusing it into something so good, right, for the highest best good, not just for you, always for you first, but not just for you, to help others around you, to share, I promise you, that energy that you have will be never ending. It will become a well. It'll become a cup that's filled so full that the only thing that ever happens is you're helping from the overflow. And when you're helping from that overflow of the energy, it's not even like that cup never gets empty. It's constantly overflowing. And then it just becomes that constant channel that you can pull from at any time. And when you get to that space, oh my Lord, you're winning. 11:11 on the clock. Thank you, Spirit. When I tell you I'm speaking absolute facts, and that's why I pull these cards too, because Spirit likes to confirm what I'm teaching. And the reason Spirit does that is because I worked very hard to get here. Very, very hard to get here. So the fact that I'm using what I have to share, whether you take it or not, it's not going to hurt my feelings. You can love it, you can hate it, doesn't matter. I'm just saying what worked for me, and because I share it and I give freely, I never ask for anything in return. What I'm doing is trying to help others in return. God is always going to have my back. Good morning, Olga. Okay, so we have the visualize card. When we develop our abilities to visualize, we can manifest maximum influence on our experience of reality. And what am I talking about? Focusing and channeling. Focusing and channeling. Focus! The visualize, sorry, I'm just picking on you now. But the visualize card is an indication that you must improve your visualization technique. Ooh, am I reading? Hi, Alone, how are you? It is not enough to clearly see your mind's eye the end result of what you are trying to produce in your reality. You must see what you want your future reality to be and feel as if you are already living it in the future, where it is to come to pass. Imagine what will change and what will stay the same. This prepares you to experience the actual realization of your goals. Make sure all images of this future you're visualizing include possible annoyances and difficulties that will be natural product of you attaining your future goal. Meaning, while you're already aligning with all of the great things, you're also understanding that there's still going to be things that are irritating. Life goes up and down. There's cycles. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. So you even have to visualize the negativities, the irritants, the things that are going to still make you go, because they're always going to be there. So you have to understand that, and you're just learning to overcome them much faster. I'm fantastic. I hope you're doing well. And welcome, HS. All right. Visualizing the possible annoyances and difficulties is so funny. I love that it's in there, though, because it's fact. Your powerful subconscious mind will know you are ready for the new future, thereby freeing it from self-protecting and self-defeating actions and reactions. It's giving you the green light, and it's all right there. You just have to take the leap of faith, right? And you have to trust yourself, and you have to just say, hey, I have all this anger, and I'm righteous in having this anger. But am I going to use it to try and cause destruction for someone or hurt somebody, or am I going to use this to build, empower myself, and empower others? And when you make that choice, I promise you, God's got your back. And I say God generally because I follow universal law. I do believe in God very much, but I don't believe in God as in the Bible. I do believe the Bible has a moral compass. Everything's got a story, but I believe that religion was meant to segregate, not to unify. And spirituality is meant to understand the idea is loving ourselves and treating our neighbors as we would want to be treated. Like, that is, universal law, the law of karma, the law of reciprocation. Like, these things are really, really important. So when we treat ourselves good, obviously if we're treating ourselves good and we're understanding and we're living in our own autonomy and our own authentic self with our own moral code, if we're not hurting others, we don't have to worry about those things. We never have to worry. And on the bottom, air. I'm speaking the truth. Okay. All right. Can I have one for this card? How we're channeling our anger and we're focusing it to use it into a space of creation that we can help them focus and use it in the best possible way. These cards are big. Just give me one. Crystal Keys. This is a good one. I love the artwork on these cards. And also, angel number 22, have a look. Angel number 22 might have an extra message for you. 32. Hold on. There we go. I'm like, what is going on? Okay. Apparently my reading skills are really crappy today, so bear with me. Lemurian quartz crystals are special pieces of clear quartz with indented ridges running across them. They are known as seed crystals because they are said to have been found individually, buried in sand and earth, rather than attached to a larger cluster the way most crystals are. Aware of their oncoming destruction, the Lemurians imbued information about how to avoid a similar catastrophe on crystals and buried them. The ridges on the crystals are believed to be Lemurian inscriptions. These crystals are reappearing now as this knowledge is again relevant. This card is about deciphering wisdom codes. We may wonder how to access information regarding our spiritual growth as we navigate our everyday reality. This wisdom comes through inner paradoxes when we are truly present, awed, in creative flow, or in a state of surrender. It may come as riddles and in the most unlikely places. Zen Buddhism taps into this using koans, paradoxical statements the mind cannot fathom, to bypass traditional understanding and allow spiritual epiphany and a deeper knowledge of the soul to surface. Key wisdom codes can come to us when we are triggered. They are accessible in those moments when everything becomes more emotional, dramatic, or painful than it needs to be. Here, when light shines on our shadow, we are graced with significant insight into places we can grow and evolve from. Although it might take courage and a healthy dose of self-awareness to embrace the wisdom of those moments, it's amazing how much energy, freedom, and expansion comes as a result of deciphering these bubbles of information, tailored especially for us. Okay, I'm going to stop for 1 second, and you may not get it because you don't know what I said if you just came in halfway, but I promise you, if you go watch the replay of this video, this card is confirming literally everything I was speaking about. So when I tell you Spirit confirms my message, I speak the message that I'm being asked to speak. I speak it, I put a lot of energy and effort into it, and then I show up and I do this. And every single time Spirit confirms me. And the reason is because this is so important. It's not about you or me. It's about us understanding each other first, and then understanding that we are all one in the same. We are a drop in the ocean, together we're the ocean. And when we treat each other as such, life gets a whole lot easier. Welcome, sunshine. So sometimes insight is so perfectly constructed with a scenario that it gets right into our most tender spots for the perfect healing. These are potent codes, as all personal power struggles and ego problems affect the bigger picture of how the world operates. Our shadows are unresolved wisdom codes. Avoidance makes them spiral out to aid in the construction of a world we didn't actually want, both individually and collectively. When we see this information as the gift that it is, we can cultivate presence and begin to see between the lines of our inner workings. The world needs as much light as possible, so we do not have a repeat of what happened in Lemuria. Let's allow ourselves to see our shadows as an opportunity to bring more light into our being and heal the world from these dark foundations. So be inspired to find the wisdom hidden in those times when you feel triggered. It's really important, and it takes a moment and it takes practice, and this is what I'm trying to teach, okay? Welcome, aircraft. There is so much information within our raw and intense reactions that when you choose to be present with what is coming up and peel back the layers, great spiritual insight will unveil itself in a way tailored just for you. If we could all learn to see our triggers in the bigger picture, so much confrontation and upset would be lessened. Power struggles and fear would diminish, and we would see the greater compassion across the planet. Perspective and misunderstanding would shift, and the way people want to be loved would be, experienced without distortion. These are the seeds for peace on earth. And I can't even begin to tell you how much that confirms my message. We just have to begin to understand. And it's not about knowing it right away. It's not even about judging where you are or what knowledge level you are. It's about seeing and learning how to peel back the layers and get curious. It's about not judging yourself when you don't understand or judging somebody else. It's about showing up and saying, why am I judging? Like, you know, when you see somebody walking down the street or something happen and you look and your first thought is something of judgment, whether it's positive, negative, whatever, but that it's the human, it's just a natural whatever that comes into your brain in that initial second. Instead of like letting that fly or letting that ride, whether it was good or bad, doesn't matter. And you just say, why did that come to my brain? Why did I think that? What is the thought process that made me think that? So now you're not only breaking it down, you're breaking it down to understand why and what that comes in. And then you're like, do I actually believe that thought? Because maybe if it was a negative thought, is that something that you would normally think or believe? No. So then you know damn well that that's not your thought. You can release and let it go. That's not my thought. My brain, that's not in my brain. That's not something I think or believe. It's not mine. Don't hold on to it. Let it go. That's when you start to begin to sort through all the crap, right? It's 11:22 on the clock. Thank you, Spirit. And then, welcome, Cal. All right, can I have an angel number? Just one. That's the one. 0606. Commitment. Loyalty, responsibility, truth, love, light, spiritual growth, and solutions. If you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. Okay, you don't have to have all the answers, but show up. Never, my biggest thing, and this is my own personal opinion, my own personal knowledge, but if you see a problem and there's a problem and it really bothers you, don't be like, I hate this is horrible. Be like, I hate this is horrible, I don't like it, but we should try to change this. Like, here's an idea for a solution. Don't just come in and be like, I hate this, I hate this. Always try to come with an answer. Okay, it doesn't have to be the right answer, but it has to be a possible resolution. Because when we do that, we're not saying we're here to hate on you for something. We're here to distract you, disrupt you, hurt you, hinder you, any of those things. I don't like this situation, but it doesn't mean I don't like you. It doesn't mean I dislike any of those things. It means I dislike what is actually happening. But if I dislike what is actually happening, then what happens? How would I make it so I could like it, right? So don't ever just come to somebody with a problem. You have to offer an example of a possible solution. Doesn't mean it is going to be the only solution, but you're coming with an idea. And you're coming with an idea where if they don't take your idea, it doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. It means that you've offered a possible solution. It means you're showing up and you're being aware of the situation and you're not just letting it go or throwing it away or just attacking something. You're saying, okay, well, how can we resolve this, right? Because nobody wants to be in conflict. And most people, if you can find a way to resolve it peacefully, they're going to leave it be, right? And they're going to be like, okay, let's do that. They're going to compromise, or you find a way to meet in the middle. But either way, there's a place to bridge the gap because you become with a possible solution instead of just attacking. Welcome, Alexandria. So 0606 is commitment. Living with honesty and light every day is a powerful way to cultivate a peaceful and meaningful life. By embracing truth, you unlock the solutions and comfort. Let go of worries by expressing your emotions authentically and regularly. Open your heart to the future because the best is yet to come. When you make the commitment and show up for yourself and begin to really show up for yourself and start learning and expressing these ways in an honest, not attacking to yourself or to others, in an honest manner, and start being accountable and understanding that space, that's when the universe starts showing you a path forward. It starts empowering you, and it teaches you a space where you can love yourself through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then you start to learn how to channel that anger and that fire and turn it into creation that's just going to empower your entire life. Welcome, Brenda. All right, that was quick. We got, when I see good in others, I acknowledge it out loud. Celebrate people. It's free. Give out those compliments. Tell somebody your hair looks good. Oh, you did a fantastic job today. Even if you don't like something that's going on, and you'd be like, that wasn't good, but that employee over there treated me really well and they were really kind. Speak it out. Because that's what people need to hear. And people need to be celebrated more and more for the good things they're doing. We see enough negative in the world. Speak that good out so the universe can just keep sending more and more and more. Welcome, Abby. And then we got, every cell in my body is conscious and communicates with each positive thought I have. Every single cell. That's what we're speaking into this, from the inside out. And when we channel those cells and we use them properly and we fill them with love and self-awareness and authenticity and unconditional love and kindness and compassion, and we fill them with all that, our whole body is running on love. We're vibrating so much higher. We're not even in a space where that negative stuff can even come near us. And that's the place we want to be. And then I breathe calmly and easily. I am safe in this moment. If you're here now and you're still breathing, good morning, Crystal. You're still breathing. There's a chance to change anything, always. And you're always safe. If you're still breathing and nobody's attacking you or trying to shoot you or run you over or any of those crazy things, you're not being chased by a lion, you're safe in that moment. And you just have to learn to breathe it out, focus it, channel it, and get curious. Get curious. Check with yourself. Why am I feeling unsafe in this moment? What's going on around me? What's happening here? What is it that I can change? Can I adjust? What do I need to release? Do I need to be in these situations if they constantly make me feel unsafe? No? Okay, then leave them. Change your ideas, change your situations, change all of those things. And that's how we change the triggers. That's how we address them. That's how we start fixing them. Welcome, Nico. So that's what I have for the message, and it wasn't bad. We're only about an hour and a half, which is good because I was hoping it didn't go a full 2 hours. But I always post the replays on my YouTube at Creativity Guides Me, usually by the end of the day, unless something comes up, but usually pretty regularly by the end of the day. Welcome, Pat. And if you want, go check out my website, creativelyguided.ca. Look for this logo. That's my stuff. If you see it posted, that means it's mine. Go check out my website. I have my handmade teas that I make, and my tinctures, my art, my jewelry, my artwork, my guided journals, my reflection stories that just help focus our healing and show up for ourselves in a much better in a more loving way, so we can show up for others the same way. And in an accountable way, not just self-loving, because we want to make sure that we're being accountable. And if we're not being treated properly, that we're standing up for ourselves in the proper manner. So, welcome, Devil. Oh, I don't even know how to say your name, but I'm going to say the Blue Hearts. Welcome. Welcome. And A1. I'm just about to get off here. But you can keep your eye out on my YouTube at Creativity Guides Me for the replay. It will be up today. Usually I do a post with the link. I appreciate everyone for showing up. I appreciate you for listening, and hopefully I'm helping you create just a couple more tools in your belt so you can show up more authentically and a little more self-aware, and in those moments, instead of anger, we can use that to fuel all of the great things that we're trying to create in this world. So thank you guys for showing up. And on today is the 23rd, 24th, 25th. So on the 26th will be the next one, and I believe that's the still point, which is it's the yuckiest of them all. It's not. It is, but it isn't. But it's the hardest one, I think, for me. It may not be for everybody, but for me it is. So keep your eye out for that. I'll always do a post a couple of days before, so you know when it's coming. But I appreciate you guys for showing up. And I will be live again on the 26th, and maybe once before that, because I'm going to start doing the December action steps this coming week too. So I might be live pretty much every day, but each one you'll know exactly what it is before I go live. Fair enough? All right, guys. I love you. Thanks for showing up. I hope you have a fantastic Sunday.